Hello, I'm Richard Raffan. I mostly rough turn bowls, and after they're rough turned they're set aside to dry for as long as possible, ideally maybe a couple of years. That's if I want a symmetrical bowl. But I do keep an eye on them as they're drying, just to check for any defects developing. And in this elm bowl, I noticed that a split has developed near the foot. So what you're going to see in this video is how this goes back on the lathe. In fact, what you're going to see is how I deal with this. So it'll go back on the lathe, I'll get rid of the split and see what I can do with what's left. Now I would say this is heading to be a green turn tripod bowl, so tripod as in 3 little feet. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Or you'll see how I go, more to the point. The split which has opened up is just in here, and looks as though it goes best part of approaching 6 mil, which is about a quarter of an inch. And when I roughed this out, I did put some shoulders on the inside, but this has warped quite a bit. It's gone from, this is now 10 3/4 inches, easier in metric, 270, and the other way it's now 285, so it's moved half an inch, 15 millimeters. So I'd like to get those symmetrical. Bigger rest. I'll just true up the top as well. So running this at around 800 RPM. Three-eighths deep flute bowl gouge, 3/8 flute. With a 1/2 inch bowl gouge, but a 1/2 inch flute. Just get the worst of the chatter out, and should take a bigger chuck. My eye is in today. So first thing here really is to true up this, and then I'll mark the arc within which the split lies. In there. Take this out with a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. The reason for that is that I've got my hand over the top, the shavings don't build up in the flute, which they can with a deep fluted gouge. Keep that diameter just for the moment, because you can still now go back into the other chuck. Now this bit does not come through on the other side, which is the good news. Bad news is it does look rather deep. Just check as to how deep this is in there. Ooh. So I have to allow here for the thickness of the chuck wall as well. Yep, plenty there. So I hate to lose height in a bowl, but that's what's going to happen with the tripod bowl. I wanted to. It's going to be a utilitarian bowl, salad bowl, so I really want the feet to be out about there. Smell the moisture that's still inside this elm. Yeah, it feels a bit damp. Now, of course, I forgot to mark where the split was, up this side. A bit careless of me, so it should be on where the sap is pretty much. And I can't see anything, so that looks fine. So I just need a foot which will fit into the jaws which I've already got on here, which will be just slightly bigger than that. I'll keep that down there. Yep, so my chuck will grip there, my feet will probably be where that mark is, so I can take a bit out of the centre. Want this slightly concave across the middle. Still with a 1/2 inch spindle gouge. This is a 3/8 spindle gouge. This is the 3/8 bowl gouge. Asymmetric grind, the advantage of which is I've got a steeper bevel on the right wing, which gives me a better angle of approach here. But longer bevel, it's difficult to get in to cut it all. You can just see a slight double image up on the top, so not quite as down to where I thought I was when I trued it up. It did not complete the job. That feels better. Right. Slight reverse curve there, which is going to go through that shoulder, and it's aiming towards the line I have there, which is where the feet will be. Now this might well warp a bit more, I hope it does, in which case it'd be nice to have a little inset bead just to emphasize the warping. Bead goes in with a 3/8 spindle gouge. Now there's a gap of about 1/4 of an inch where the jaws are still open, which means that I can get in and measure the wall thickness down here. So I have 15 millimeters, 1/2 an inch. Pretty well ideal, 1/2 an inch around there. So I don't need anything much out of there. Now running at 1500. Just thinking that very dusty. Just snatched a little bit there. Right, so I have about 12 millimeters. So I can take that down a little bit more in the middle. And from there. So the tool I'm using across the bottom, normally a square end tool, has a very slight radius on it, and I like to use a radius on a scraper which is just inside the curve I'm trying to cut. It's a very shallow curve across there, but that does the job fine. And that gets power sanded. Starting with 120 grit. So sanded to 240 grit, which is quite fine enough for a salad bowl. This now comes off to get its feet set out. So plastic sheet with a number of, I've got 6 on this. Potential of 6 feet or 6 sides if you're doing a hexagonal plate. I want the grains running this way, so I want 1 foot on that, on the end grain. Will be there, and around here. So my feet will be there, there and there. Now this gets held with a clamp there, some non-slip, should do it. Right, this is done with an angle grinder with flap wheels. So having shaped it all with the angle grinder, now I go to the slower speed angle drill and go over first with 120 and then I go to 180. I do need to check that I can see daylight underneath the feet, which I can, so I can now go over this with 240. And finally some board linseed.